We are starting to hear more reports now from Amber Heard's camp on just what the actor's last 24 hours have been like since the verdict. A gleeful Johnny Depp posted a statement reading in part from the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. I got a chance to sit down with Amber Heard's attorney, Elaine Charlson Bredehoft, to discuss the verdict and some of the evidence they were not allowed to present. So 24 hours after the verdict, how is Amber holding up?
You know, she's heartbroken, but I have to say one of the most significant things she said right after she heard the verdict was, I am so sorry for all these women I have disappointed, all these women who have suffered, you know, and I've set them back. Obviously, this is a big setback, and she feels personally responsible for it. So she's working through it, but it's a tough one.
So you would say that the social media outweighed potentially for some of the jurors, even what they witnessed for themselves?
Yes. Yes, and the combination of that and not being able to get a lot of very significant evidence in smoking guns. We had some significant text messages from Johnny Depp's assistant saying, when I told him that he kicked you, he cried. That didn't come in. We had the medical records that actually where Amber was reporting contemporaneously about the drugs, the alcohol, and being physically abused. Those didn't come in. Anything that was positive in the medical records where she was reporting the abuse didn't come in, only if she said something that was potentially negative. All of that had to be difficult for them when they go back to the jury room and they're only seeing one side.
And now there are plans to appeal. Yes. On what grounds?
There's a number of them. Obviously, we think that the fact of the UK judgment should have come in. We also think the UK judgment should have precluded the complaint. We think there would have been a defensive collateral estoppel should have, because it was Mr. Depp's case over in the UK, the standard of proof was even easier for him, and he still lost. He put in all the evidence he wanted. He put all the witnesses he wanted, still lost. We think that should have precluded this case. We also think there was a number of significant evidentiary issues, hearsay. You probably heard, the entire world heard hearsay, and we think a lot of things were excluded that should not have been. So we do think we have some significant grounds.
After you've been having a front row seat to this and an active participant in it, what would your message be to victims of domestic abuse who now say, well, this is it, I'm not going to come forward with my own story?
My advice would be, document as much as you can, and that's difficult because knowing the cycle of violence, and we had some outstanding experts in this case, the cycle of violence, and it was true of Amber as well. She wanted to protect him. She loved him. She believed she could get him off the alcohol and the drugs. That's what goes through all of them. But my advice would be, tell people, tell your therapists. Amber did, but we couldn't get the evidence in. Take pictures, document things if you need to, because we recognize we really have had quite a setback. We really have gone back, I want to say, almost decades.
Those who watched on TikTok seem to come away with this idea that Johnny Depp was cast as the hero and Amber Heard is the villain. Why do you think that was, that so many people took that attitude?
He's a very powerful figure. You know, as Captain Jack Sparrow, he was exceedingly popular. He made over $650 million as an actor. He was very, very wealthy, very powerful, had a very, very strong cult following, and has continued to have that strong cult following. Amber doesn't have that. She's been working her way up. She's much younger than he is. She's been just working her way to the levels of success. It's just such an uneven playing field to start out with. And these people have stayed with Mr. Depp, and they have supported him. Do you feel that domestic violence is still something that's difficult for our court systems to adequately respond to and address? Yes. Yes, you know, it was very helpful to have Dr. Hughes testify. She's a specialist in interpersonal and intimate partner violence for 25 years. We also had Dr. Spiegel, a psychiatrist who had those specialties. And it was helpful to have them there because it's so difficult for the typical person to understand the cycle of violence and understand why these victims stay. They're getting beaten up, they're, you know, choked, they're almost getting killed, and yet they stay and they remain loyal and they love this person. And what Mr. Depp's legal team did in strategy here was play to the ignorance of people who don't get that. Why would she do this if he was beating her? Why would she say, give him love letters if he's beating her? Why would she give him a knife if he's beating her? And that's what they played to. And I think a lot of people need better education on that. The First Amendment. I'm very troubled by the fact that we have an op-ed that doesn't even mention Mr. Depp. And as a result of that, this jury has now said that these were defamatory with malice, even though Amber had a lawyer who gave her advice on it. And what that does to chill virtually everyone out there, and it's not just domestic violence. I think it's virtually anything. We're all fair game under this kind of an interpretation. And I think we have to really rethink the First Amendment and op-eds and how we treat these going forward.
In theory, do I have a right to talk about a really bad experience I had with a person or a business as long as I don't name them?
Your takeaway from this verdict is no, you can be sued for defamation. And that's wrong, and that's why we need to appeal and we need to make this right.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.